Hey guys, you're listening to ChickFlicks with me, your host, Alexis Otang. I am so happy to be back. I'm sorry videos and episodes have not been going out. We are currently not in our regular space. As you can tell, there's no green screen. My studio that I use is getting renovated for new floors and painting. So until then, I was gonna hold off on episodes, but as you know, a big movie just came out. So I decided we are gonna make the best of the situation and do a video on Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And we've actually brought a full panel here to talk about it because it's one for the book. So we have Nini.
Hi.
Taya.
Hi.
And Tori.
Hi guys.
These are my coworkers at Owl TV, and we all saw the movie together. Actually,
We did.
two of us saw the movie together. Tori saw
The
it
three of
another day.
us saw
I was
it.
on a business trip.
So we are going to talk about it today. And yeah, guys, I'll get into a little bit of a quick rundown if you did not know. Black Panther Wakanda Forever was directed by Ryan, is it Coogler? I don't know.
Googler.
Coogler. Okay. Black Panther Wakanda Forever was directed by Ryan Coogler. Did I say that right?
Yeah, no, you're good.
I was gonna say Ryan C.
Just keep saying.
Yeah. Black Panther Wakanda Forever was directed by Ryan C. And it stars Letitia Wright, Dominique Thorne, Angela Bassett, Winston Duke, Tenoch Huerta, hope I said that right, and Michaela Cole. And in summary, this is the movie that it happens after, not Infinity War, Endgame. And in the wake of Prince T'Challa's death, we watch as our beloved characters are going to have to navigate the world without their Black Panther. Now, this movie has been super anticipated, and we are going to talk about it. So this is your spoiler warning. If you don't want spoilers, you need to click off this video.
A lot of spoilers are about to come because
We are
I am not
diving
holding back.
into everything, okay? So take this time now to pause the video, go buy your tickets to whatever showing is happening, watch the movie, and then you come back. Because if you're gonna quit and not watch the rest of this review, you're a quitter. And people do not like quitters. Wakanda people don't quit. So you shouldn't either. And yeah, guys, we're gonna get right into it after this quick intermission to give you time to decide if you should continue watching. All right, guys, that's intermission over. So let's get into Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So the first thing I want to talk about, guys, is the new Marvel opening credits that they did in honor of Chadwick Boseman. Like, that wasn't just me, but that was just so beautiful.
It was. 100%.
It's also the fact that, like, normally for intros, they play music. And it's like, it gets you hyped for it. But, like,
Exactly.
they didn't play music. Like, you just see, like, all of Chadwick's, like, highlights and everything he's done. But it was also a moment of silence at the same time. So everyone in the theater is just sitting there going,
Yeah.
No, and honestly, like, the only time I can think of, like, when everybody was on the same page like that was when No Way Home, when we saw Andrew Garfield come on to the screen and, like, the big reveal.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody in the theater was literally, like, cheering. Everyone was up on their feet, like, yeah.
Toby
And
too.
I had chills. Toby too. I had chills. But the chills I got when it was just dead silent in that theater and we were all watching that opening intro, like, the fact that we all knew in that moment that this was our moment of silence to Chadwick Boseman for everything he's done for Black Panther, for the Marvel series, like, it was just so beautiful. So I have to give them props. Like, it takes a lot to be able to, like, communicate something to everybody and do it so perfectly, and they did it. And I think that was a really great way to honor him and give a quick little, like, nod to Chadwick and everything he's done. They do that throughout the whole film, but I think that was one of the most, like, the best one. So I loved that. Okay, so going into the opening of the film, it's revealed that they have decided to do that Prince T'Challa died and Shuri was, trying to help give him a cure, and he passed away before she could really help her brother. And I know, like, that some people were really upset that they weren't going to do a new Black Panther guy, that some people were like, they're going to kill him off in the series, that they should do alternatives. But honestly, like, I think that was probably the best thing for them. What do you guys think? I think it helps move the story forward, and it also really goes well with the themes that they do across this whole film.
Right.
Well, personally, I feel like his passing in the film kind of hits a little too close to home because, like, it kind of reflects how he passed away in real life.
Exactly.
Like the same illness. I was like, you know, like, it was a tearjerker right there. You know what I'm saying?
I was tearing up. It was really sad.
No, for real.
I think the intro also with like it helps set Shuri's whole like character like arc for that movie in motion because like her whole film is like her getting like engrossed in her technology to like try to like, you know, block out the outside world, and she's like, I couldn't save my brother using my technology. I'm not gonna make that mistake again. And honestly, the whole time I was watching it, all in my head, all I'm thinking is these are their real emotions. These are their real emotions
like,
because obviously Letitia would want to save Chadwick, so you're just sitting there like she wants to save him, but like
she can't.
She can.
This is distracting me. I totally forgot that my hopefully none of y'all got my information. If not, can't wait for that phone call to my mom. But yeah, I honestly think that it was the best thing moving forward. And I'm sure like some people talked about, I think there were some things going around Twitter about what the original script was for what they had planned for Chadwick.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Honestly, like, I don't even know like what we were going for, and I don't know if I honestly would have liked it, but honestly, if Chadwick was in it, you have me there. But I think this was the best thing they could do for the series moving forward, was to give him a passing and then also like do a funeral for him, because I feel like the opening credits was like the moment of silence for Chadwick Boseman, but T'Challa's death and that whole honoring was for Black Panther, for the character of T'Challa.
It was kind of also in a way for like, obviously like us as fans, when we heard about it, we were obviously like crying, upset. We're like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? Blah, 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 sort of kind of. And
we had no idea like he was sick in the first place.
Yeah,
it was even more shocking.
So I feel like incorporating the funeral into like the film is a way for like all of, not just like Wakanda, but like all of like the outside fans to also be like, you're right. It happens. Here's our grieving process. Find peace. Move on.
And I specifically want to highlight how they did the funeral. We all know that Black Panther and Ryan C has done a great job at infusing African culture throughout these series. And the funerals was very like culturally accurate. I'm Ghanaian, West African. I have attended funerals. My uncle passed away last year. And when we did our funerals, it's a celebration of life. You know, there's music, there's dancing, there's happiness for what they did in their legacy. And there's also a mourning period. But like some people were talking about like, you know, why it was such a happy scene of the colors. That's what we do in African culture. You know, it's not all doom and gloom. We wear black for the funeral, but we also wear white because we want to like celebrate that person's life and legacy, and we know that they're in a better place. And so they did that whole opening sequence was so beautiful. You can see the culture, all the kente, it was just amazing.
They're singing, they're
dancing. They're
it was
singing
just
and
beautiful.
dancing, and that literally almost all any African ceremony you go to, whether it's like they are crowning a new king, or it's somebody's birthday, or it's a celebration of life, a funeral, a wedding, there is always music, dancing, and celebration. There's always a reason for us to come together and embrace that we're at least all here. So I think they did it beautifully, and I think they handled it, and I think this was the best move for them moving forward. So moving on, some of the themes we have in this film are the impact of colonization, the indigenous Latinx people history parallels African American history, political division, resources, resilience, and grief. So what do you guys thought of some of these themes in the movie? Like,
I feel like I'm speaking. Does anybody else want to like?
Yeah, you can go.
Okay, so basically the whole like, what's the antagonist name? Namor. I keep wanting to call him Tamor for some reason, but it's Namor. Anyway,
Taya? You're like Taya, Namor.
Oh my god, Tamor together. But like when when he's like doing his whole the backstory about how it's like, oh, his family, like his people got sick, you know, drank the plant, had to transfer in the water, and then when they go back to land to like, you know, like place. Because his mother essentially wants to be buried in her homeland, which obviously makes sense. It's really important to them. And you get back and you see the freaking colonizers, and then you see like the actual like slaves and the people working. When I saw that, I kid you not, I got angry so quick. I got angry really quick because I hate obviously like that's such a big part of like like world history in general, but like watching it, it makes me mad.
No,
But like,
it should make anybody mad.
Yeah, but if anything, that is like, if you're able to like make someone mad and like portray that, then I think you're doing it perfectly. Because not only like it also gave you empathy for like their people, like for Namor and their people. Because here's the thing, you want like I love Namor was so like. Here's the thing is,
we're gonna get more into him, so don't worry about that. But no, like I know what you're saying. To me, I think that it perfectly parallels, because I think a lot of times, like when we think about slavery, we think about the impact of colonization, we think about the Americas, we think about how it impacted like the slave trade, how slaves ended up in America, but we forget that slavery was all around the world, and it impacted the Latin America a lot. A lot of the indigenous people there were enslaved, but also people like to think that like if you were slaves from Africa got traded to America. There was slavery in Africa. When they colonized, they either kept you there as a slave or they sent you to the Americas. And they not only did that, but they ripped up our land. They took our resources. They drained us of everything.
Facts.
And that is a big theme here. And when we get into like, they talk about vibranium. That's a big factor in this movie. The vibranium and the fact that Wakanda is like where vibranium is found. And a lot of the other nations don't feel like they are doing their part to share that with the rest of the world. And I think it's kind of supposed to parallel like nuclear warfare, and the fact that like when there's a thought that a country has a nuclear bomb, other countries want to then make their own nuclear bombs to make sure that they're safe, because what they're ultimately scared of is that Wakanda is going to create all these weapons that they're not going to be able to fend them off. Which is funny because they know dang well if they got the chance to get those resources.
You have to go back to the opening scene in the courtroom.
Yes, that opening scene in the courtroom was so beautiful. The symbolism in that scene
it was amazing.
Is amazing, because they're the same people being like, we're scared of you, when y'all are the aggressors.
Y'all the main ones.
Y'all are the ones coming and trying to cause conflict.
No, but if Angela Bassett doesn't win an award for that,
no, definitely
her whole performance in that
Can
scene.
we all just take a moment and give it up for the legendary girl, Angela Bassett?
Here's the thing. Do I think she's gonna get an Oscar nomination? No, because the Oscars are freaking rigged.
I'm telling you right
but
now.
She has to. She was so good.
When she gave that speech, I kid you not, whoever I was sitting next to went, "That's award slapper. Give it to her." Well, not slapper.
It's probably her other coworker MJ who said that. But no, Angela Bassett did amazing in this role. But that whole scene, like, it was a big part of the movie, this vibranium, and how the world is very selfish for it, and they don't want it because they want to fend themselves off from Wakanda. They wanted to ensure that they know they can destroy Wakanda if it needed to be, if it comes to that, and they're scared that. And it's like America, it's kind of like these nations have never been in the position of vulnerability to be at the stand of a country, let alone an African country that they used to think was a third world country and had nothing. They don't know how to be humbled like that. So I thought that whole scene was beautifully done, and like the symbolism and the parallels to real life is serious. So love that. But I also, one thing I was going to point out about, like I said, it parallels the indigenous people and their slavery in Latin America and the people in Africa. Like, a lot of our stories parallel. A lot of us, they went through the same thing. They were colonized by people who had no right to their land, enslaved, drained of their resources. And I think this movie really helps tell that. And Shuri and Namor are literally like the two fighting sides. Now they're finally thriving. And Namor's like, we need to burn the rest of the world.
For us.
And, you know, Shuri is mostly what we kind of have to be. We have to be the good guys. Because, you know, we always said if we had this ability, if we had that power, we wouldn't do what they did. And we kind of have to show that we are better than them, which is harder because we always have to be the bigger person.
Yeah. What's up with that?
But it's a smart thing, and it shows that, like, the people you have put through the most pain usually turn out to be the biggest people, the most humble, and the most apathetic and sympathetic. So
Wakanda they could have taken over the
destroyed
world.
Them. Nuclear bombs, what? Boom. Done. You see how the warriors took out those French operatives? Blink, I blink. They were all taken out.
They were having a conversation
that was like Black
while fighting.
Because it's like not only that part, but then also when they escorted them into the courtroom and they all like,
they said yes.
Yeah, they're like, yes, ma'am.
They said we about to get killed. Let me tell you something. It's so nice to see like strong black women kicking
Oh,
ass.
period.
I will forever strong black women kicking ass.
The Dora Milaje. Yeah.
Iconic group of
Iconic group
Wait.
of women, and that their general is a woman, and
Yes.
their storylines have always been the strongest. In the first movie, Okoye, when she's like, I will kill you even though you're my husband for Wakanda. Because the fact that you think
No, they loyal.
love comes before my duty is
Exactly.
crazy.
Wait.
And they kept that.
What?
I just realized
What?
when it comes to the MCU, the armies are women.
Yeah.
Like also in Thor, like Valkyrie, like of Asgard.
Yeah,
that's a
'cause
group of women.
Let me tell you something. Women, if women would run the world, I feel like the world would go a lot
Guys,
smoother.
I'm
That's
a
another
little
conversation.
fruity.
All right, so, let's get a little bit into Shuri because she is the main character of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I think she did a great job as a main antagonist.
Oh, definitely.
I'm not a main antagonist, main protagonist. I'm glad that they focused the story on her, and I'm glad that they went along because in the comics, Shuri is supposed to become the next Black Panther. So a lot of people were like, why would... Bruh, that's comic accurate. Some of y'all are like always being like, it's not accurate to the comics.
Hell yeah,
and
it
then
is.
be accurate to the comics, but it's a woman. And
Yeah.
God forbid that she's black too.
Exactly.
So that's why
I'm just waiting for Tori to come in with the do your research.
Do your research. Some of y'all not open. Google has always been free and it will continue to be free until Elon Musk owns it. But,
And just like that, ChickFlicks is wiped from the internet.
just like that.
Cut this part
Get
out.
here from ChickFlicks again. Ooh, maybe I'll edit that out.
Yeah.
But Shuri as a Black Panther, I loved her arc in Black Panther Wakanda because it was technically the 5 stages
Yes,
of
I
grief.
saw that. I saw that.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
But here's the difference. I feel like the reason why we don't understand that immediately is because I think typically the 5 stages of grief is supposed to go like denial, anger, and then bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. But hers didn't go like that.
Yeah.
Hers at first was like, I think it was denial, but then it was depression. Like she didn't really want to deal with the fact that her brother's going. And she was doing, I think she was doing denial and bargaining in the same. Like when she was trying to still find a cure, that was her like, be like, he's not gonna die. And you know what, like I
even
can still.
that scene when she went with like, what was the queen's name again?
Ramonda.
Ramonda. And like, and they had to like burn their clothes.
She
and
was
was
in
like,
denial. She didn't want to.
Yeah.
She was in like, and I liked how they had her anger come in the form of vengeance towards the end. But we'll get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. I'm telling you, I think that was amazing because I think it also tells us that like your grieving process does not need to look like the 5 stages of grief in that exact order. You can be angry at first and then in denial about it later, and then finally
You can circle back around.
Everybody grieves.
But at the end,
Definitely.
you will always find your way to acceptance. Whatever roadblocks or emotions you hit on the race, the end game is always
The end
and
credit scene.
hopefully acceptance. You see what I did there? End game.
okay, that's it.
But I liked the whole arc, and honestly, I think in order for Shuri to fully come into her role as a Black Panther and the ruler of Wakanda, she did need to lose basically every single person in her life because she's lost her dad, her brother, and her mom.
That was, I found that so cruel though.
And honestly, though, I didn't think they were gonna kill Ramon.
I did not think it was too cruel.
She was swimming up with fucking. She was swimming up with Riri, and then I'm literally sitting there going, "Don't die." What? Also, when it comes to the whole Black Panther issue, because obviously, like in the first movie, like Killmonger was like burn all the plants, right? We don't. The fact that they took a while to make Shuri the Black Panther, I love, because I feel like anybody else would have been like, okay, let's make her the Black Panther right off the bat.
Yeah,
that way
that
Black
happened
Panther
too.
can be the hero for the movie. But the Black Panther, like Shuri, is the hero, not the Black Panther, which I think is important to remember.
I think that's important.
Yeah.
They were trying to say that she
And like
is the hero.
before she resorted to violence, she actually tried talking to him. And
Yeah,
like,
Yeah. She wanted to do it peacefully, and then
Yes.
freaking Ramonda was like, Nakia, I need you to go rescue her. And Nakia fired the first shot.
Speaking of Nakia, Lupita Nyong'o was the most beautiful person ever.
my God.
When she emerged on that screen, I was like, melanin, black beauty. And they say we are not beautiful. They're liars. They're liars.
My chopstick
My Nubian queen. I loved her. No, but honestly, I think Shuri does like an amazing job as the main character. Letitia Wright, she did an amazing job, and you can tell like everything came from the heart from this film because it hit home.
There were so many emotions throughout this, like not only like from an acting perspective, Oh my gosh! But like anything at any points in the movie when they reference specifically like T'Challa's death and like Chadwick obviously not being there, like here's the thing: there was so much real emotion, like not just like oh I'm acting. There you could literally see you're like no because they're not only grieving T'Challa, they are grieving Chadwick at the same time. Which is the way they were able to make this movie because he passed away last year or 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
It feels like yesterday to me.
Yes, but it's the fact that like they're able to like take all those emotions that they got from like when he passed away and still be able to make a movie after this.
And it's probably because it was so abrupt. So I think it was so abrupt for everybody.
He didn't tell anyone.
He didn't tell. He kept, and I don't blame him too because I don't think he wanted us to.
He didn't want us to pity him. He wanted us to be like no, because Chadwick as an actor, he loved everybody. Like here's the thing: if you listen,
he knew how much he mattered.
Yes.
Especially to the black community.
Yeah,
definitely.
He was our
Jackie Robinson. He was
the
James
Jackie
Brown.
Robinson of film.
Yeah,
and like there have been a lot of black superheroes, but none has had more of an impact than Black Panther.
Definitely, 100%.
Especially because he was the first one to get their own solo movie.
Yes.
I think it also has strongly to do with the whole like. So basically, like obviously we've all seen the first movie, but Killmonger's reasoning for that, like it takes the whole like discrimination into account, like because every person of color can empathize at that point. Like it's not just he's a black superhero. Let's all love him. He's an African superhero. But it's like all the outside impacts that also like that part that makes everyone so empathetic to the movie itself.
So
I think, you know what, like, and can I also say, isn't it funny that M'Baku was the voice of reason during this movie?
For real.
Like, who would have thought
the difference between the first and second movie?
I most definitely think that he's going to take on the throne because at the ending, he was like, the Panther is not here, but I will challenge who's next. So his character development, man.
Do you think what they're going to do is they're going to have that Shuri's the Black Panther, but M'Baku rules?
Is the key,
yes,
right?
definitely. No, that's, definitely.
She moved away, so I feel like she can't be two places at once, so somebody has to hold it down.
Definitely.
And that's going to be
I think he's had a great character arc, that he's become more wise. He's not as stubborn and like, I'm thinking of the word when you're too cocky as he was before.
Yeah.
You know,
he's a big cocky.
He's still cocky.
He's still fish man. He's a fish man.
We killed that fish man. And then the first time this man faces him, it's over.
We're like,
oh,
yeah.
Bro, I thought he died. I got so scared.
I was like, boy, stay down. Act.
My favorite thing about him is that he's like, I don't want to call him simple, but like when they were doing the whole like meeting thing, it's like, okay, how do we handle this? He was like, well, let's kill him. Obviously.
He said, let's like what we arguing about? What's the
if we do what they want now, they're going to expect us to do things for them all the time. Like he's smart.
He's smart. No, for real. So you know
then
what?
he became like Shuri's big brother.
That was so sweet. That was so sweet.
And he was really helping her. Like he was trying to get her to reason. And you know, she didn't want to listen at first, but eventually she does listen with the help. Now, I want to talk about one of the standouts. I honestly think like he probably was the best actor in this whole film. Well, no, I don't know if I can say that. Next to Angela Bassett, she acted her ass off. So it's definitely between these two. Namor. That's the best, one of the best antagonists in
the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I will stand by that. One of the best. I think he's better antagonist motivations than Thanos.
I understood him.
No, I got completely thrown off guard because originally I got thrown off guard for two different reasons. First, he's got wings on his heels, and I was like, Hermes? Why are we bringing Greek mythology into this?
I was very confused.
And then I was like, are we watching Avatar? The new movie?
She's at that.
No, because that's something that I thought too, because the people were blue and they were riding on whales and you know all that things, but they made them have natural skin color on the water.
I love that.
Differentiate. But let me say now, Tenoch Huerta, I hope I'm saying that right. I know him from Narcos Mexico. He played one of the kingpins in the Guadalajara cartel. He did an amazing job in that series. He acted his pants off. But now I think people are recognizing the talent. And this is why I love Marvel movies, is because they get some of the most underrated actors to play these parts, and then people finally start appreciating them.
RDJ.
100%.
RDJ. They take chances. I don't even think they take chances. They see the star potential in these people. They bring them to the foreground, and then they get in front of the camera, and people start seeing the star quality. Yeah. And I feel like this is really like where Tenoch Huerta's career just starts.
I really hope so.
I hope so too.
No, he's really talented.
Black Panther has the best looking antagonists of
Yeah.
all time. That's
Yeah.
the crown.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I couldn't focus.
Tom
on
Hiddleston.
that.
Tom Hiddleston is kind of gorgeous.
I think Kate
Um,
Blanchett
Loki?
did a pretty good job too.
Wait, who?
Kate Blanchett,
Oh,
Ella.
100%.
Who?
We're not talking about
Ella.
those two movies. We're focusing
Oh,
on Black
yeah.
Panther.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, okay.
Bring it
What
back.
I'm gonna say is, I couldn't really care for what Namor was doing because he was so fine that he got away with it.
If he asked me to burn the world down with
I
him,
would be right there with him.
I would have considered.
But here's the thing though. I want him to act in more things because love him as an actor, but I don't want him to then only be known for this role.
Oh yeah, no.
You know what I
That's
mean?
what I'm saying. I'm hoping his career takes off.
Oh, yeah,
and he starts
definitely.
getting
Yeah.
more roles from this because honestly, like I feel like it's the Marvel. Once Marvel sees something in you and people are able to see that, you start getting booked. Like
Oh,
you
definitely.
are literally the last piece of candy on the table. Everybody wants you. Everybody wants.
That's what happened to freaking Tom Holland. No one really knew who he was, and he became Spider-Man, and now he's in everything.
He's in
Florence
everything.
Pugh. Well, she was in Midsummer, and she was a lot of things. But
She wasn't-
before, but I think literally like after she did Black Widow, what was the name?
It was.
No,
It
the
was
Black Widow
It was
movie.
Black
Yeah.
Widow. Okay, you looked at me like.
What? No, because in my head I was thinking Little Women.
No,
I
After she
remember
did
her in
Black
Little
Woman. Like again,
Yeah.
it's that same thing. I think Zendaya's like first biggest role was Homecoming when she was MJ.
Yeah.
Was
Movie
it?
wise?
Yeah,
I think so too.
and then because then she did Greatest Showman
Yeah, it
and then she
was.
And Malcolm and Marie.
and Malcolm
Yeah,
and Marie.
it was.
And
It
then she
was
had
100%.
Euphoria, and so
Yeah.
like I'm saying,
Yeah.
it's that like they be giving
Marvel
showing
be
people.
giving people
They
careers,
do.
bro.
They do.
They be
Be getting
doing.
into the bag.
Exactly. So I just think he's the best in time, and I think his reasoning was good. You know,
I
he
agree.
wanted to because I think Namor knew that if they find out that they have vibranium, they will destroy what he has preserved. And it's kind of like that thing, like once the world finds a hidden gem, they want to inject themselves into the
Yeah.
business of that place.
Capitalism.
If it wasn't for the fact that like the Middle East had oil,
Yeah.
literally, I feel like they would have wrapped, but they came together. They were like, we are going to control it because this is our resource.
Mhm.
And now, for once, like the Western countries have to listen to like OPEC.
Yeah,
They decide what happens to their oil. And you see, when they saw how rich Africa was in their resources, they divided it up like it was a pie and gave it to every.
Yeah, they
single
were
one
like,
of
here's the
Europe-
veggie
per
platter.
country.
Take what
European
you like.
countries took advantage of him, and that's what they want to do to Wakanda. And what's the country's name?
Tala.
It's Talokan?
Talokan. You know what? Namor's country.
We'll write it on the bottom.
We'll put it
Right here. It'll be right
I
here.
literally cannot pronounce it. I feel so
Talokan.
bad.
Well, to be fair, they also
Is
call
that
him like
for
I
real?
think it's
Kukulakan.
Talokan.
It's like Talokan.
Yeah.
We're gonna put it down here, but that's what
You
they
guys know what
want
we're
to do with Wakanda.
talking about.
And
No,
I
because
promise
beautiful.
we're not trying to be insensitive to
One-
this place.
We're really not.
There were
I
a lot.
genuinely
Well,
not.
because there were just a lot of like names. Because like here's the thing, they also call him like Kukulakan or something like that. It's like
I feel like
it's
y'all are saying it wrong too.
Well,
Or definitely say. That's why I'm not even attempting to say it. I know it's wrong.
We
No,
just don't
because
want to be.
I'm here.
the thing with Namor that I love so much is that he's an antagonist, but out of protection, not out of revenge.
Yes.
That's true.
But the problem I do have with him though, he's a bit too.
Sexual?
No. What?
Because honestly, is it just me? But when he be talking to Shuri, I was
The
like,
chemistry.
sexual tension.
Yeah.
I was like, girl, you better than me. 'Cause
No.
I would have been like,
I would have
yes.
been like.
I almost thought they were.
You
gonna
trying
get
to
together.
wife me up?
Now he said we
I
can
thought-
burn the world together.
I was like,
Hell
great.
yes.
I thought they were gonna get together, but then the more I think about it, the more. Sorry, we're getting feedback from the room.
They're cousins.
They're fucking what?
You're lying.
Okay.
They're cousins.
You're.
No.
No.
See, this is
Neymar.
Stay in the
What is wrong with you?
Basically, okay.
So sorry about that. We had a little bit of a interruption by the peanut gallery. They thought we were talking about another
Killmonger.
character. Yeah, we were gonna get into Killmonger.
It's not Killmonger,
And
guys.
Shuri. We're talking about Namor and
Namor.
Shuri, and that the sexual tension between them was
It was intense.
Chef's kiss, and then
I
the
was
better
feeling
woman.
it. No, because she was sitting right next to me, and sometimes we would just be like,
I was like,
no, because he gave her his mother's bracelet. Like, who does that? Who just does that? Like, come on.
And he painted their battle onto his like mural.
Yeah, come on.
He painted the battle.
I would have shipped it if he didn't kill, her mother. But like,
I still ship it.
I
still ship it. Winter Soldier killed Robert Downey Jr.'s parents.
that's real enemies to lovers. That's real enemies
That's
to
real
lovers.
enemies to lovers.
right
Kill my
there.
parents and still wipe me out.
I'm sorry. That's crazy.
Okay, but
I was just saying,
you saw
I was
Civil
just saying,
War, right?
He was just like a bit too rash. Like he really.
Oh yeah, he wanted to kill Riri, which we were introduced to. She is what I'm believing to become the next
Ironheart, bro.
Yes.
Ironheart is literally my favorite superhero. I freaking love her. So just seeing her there, I was literally sitting next to her, and like every time she came, like when the suit finally came out, I was like, "Do you see this?"
No, and I think my favorite thing that they did with her character is the quote and the little callback to
Oh,
Chadwick
yes.
to be young, black, and
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Gifted. It
Exactly.
was Gifted.
Oh, no, it's gifted.
Gifted.
It's gifted. I think young,
Yeah.
black, and gifted.
Yeah.
It might be brilliant.
It
or
was
gifted.
gifted. It was gifted.
I think
But-
she might have did say gifted.
It was gifted.
Yeah, but to be young, black, and gifted, she don't believe us. But you might be
It's
wrong,
gifted.
Taya.
I'm gonna show you right
We'll do our
after.
research.
I'm gonna put
It's
a clip
gifted.
right here of it. If I ever find it, maybe I don't.
You will definitely find it.
To be young, gifted, and black.
But it's probably gifted. Taya.
Gifted.
If it is gifted, I will apologize, but I'm sticking with brilliant.
It's gifted. She's gonna apologize,
Say your
guys.
apology in case you are wrong.
I am sorry.
Cool. No.
Like I said, I think. Oh, sorry, Tori.
Oh no! I
go.
just want to say one thing. I'm very excited about her TV show Ironheart that's supposed to come out.
Oh yeah.
And how they're gonna set up the Young Avengers with her, America Chavez, Kate Bishop, Kamala Khan, and there's one more I'm missing. Black Widow's sister, Yelena. I
Yelena,
think
yeah.
she's gonna be in that too. So.
I cannot wait. Aren't they supposed to be the
Thunderbolts?
Thunderbolts.
Yeah, they're gonna try and put that.
I
in
love
there
that
too,
ride at
but-
Coney Island.
Yeah.
No, so I literally have to say, I think honestly, when we talk about like Killmonger versus Namor, I think I'm more empathetic and sympathetic to Namor's
Namor.
situation
Exactly.
because Killmonger, while what he was doing was right, he
It
was
was still revenge.
calling Wakanda
Yeah.
out. It was revenge at the end of the day.
It was.
Namor was doing it with simply his kingdom's best intentions
Yes,
because
yeah.
he saw what they did to his mother's country, and he's like, I'm not gonna do. And he does everything for his people. He
does.
brought the sun to his people, and that whole
and, like,
underwater sequence was
oh, that
done
was beautiful.
Oh,
beautifully.
the CGI, oh my gosh,
It was
And
beautiful.
it's hard, like for Avatar: The Way of the Water, they filmed all of their scenes underwater. Like all those scenes
Yeah.
underwater you've seen are actually done in the water. But I think they did CGI for. No, I think they also did no. They
I
did
think
underwater
I
too.
think they did
Because
for like the
Tenoch
straight up,
Huerta said that he had to learn how to swim and learn
for the
like, hold
for
his
the
breath.
straight up acting part. Yeah, they did that underwater, but like overall, yeah.
There's a lot of CGI, but it was done beautifully.
It was so amazing.
And you know, when he was showing Shuri his kingdom, he was like, this is why I'm doing it. Like, you need to see what I'm preserving to understand why I'm willing to go as far as killing somebody who might have been innocent in the reasoning why she created the
And, like,
vibranium.
I also like he didn't even show like the kingdom as a whole, but like also like individual people. Like
Yeah, he showed the people. He's like, I'm not just preserving the kingdom. I don't give a shit about the vibranium.
Yeah.
I give a shit about my people.
And there was also that scene where it kind of went back and forth between the blue people and the Wakandans at some point in the film, just to reflect like
They're
all the
literally-
parallels, the
they're not
parallels, yeah.
Which
They are
is
literally
which
the
is
same.
why had they decided had they been allies,
They would have been unstoppable.
they would have been
100%.
unstoppable.
They would have
Like
been
the rest of the world would have
unstoppable.
been a gone.
And that is what they're like. Literally, I think that's what the other nations were scared of. They want the vibranium from these countries because they know if there is another Wakanda out there, and there is, and they have the ability to take, and they link up and they can take us down, they're no match. And that's why they want the vibranium. It's supposed to be literally like, insurance. They want insurance that they can't get destroyed. And so I love Namor's character, and I think he is better an antagonist than Killmonger. Some of y'all gonna kill me for saying that. Speaking of Killmonger,
oh my
Roll,
gosh!
please.
When I'm telling you right now,
freaking film.
it's the way I started beating up MJ when he came on. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That part freaked me out, but it was the most plot twist of the movie, and that made me so excited, but also
No,
so
'cause-
confused and scared.
As soon as I saw this man, I was like, Killmonger, what is this man
Yeah.
doing? What are you doing
I
here?
100% thought it was gonna be Queen Ramonda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's because she's in the ancestral plane, so you're supposed to see the person who's supposed to guide you. Like when T'Challa took the plant,
herb?
whatever it's called, he saw his father. He saw his father because they had that connection, they had that bond.
But I
they
think
had that.
what we forget is that herb is supposed to lead you to the person you most are relating to in that moment.
Yeah.
And the person
Yeah.
she most related to in that moment
Which
was
is-
Killmonger.
which
because
is
she
why
had
it's
vengeance.
so
Vengeance,
like,
the
oh my
vengeance,
gosh,
exactly.
Yeah,
which is
the
so-
vengeance. And that's how you knew that Shuri had gone. That's when I knew, okay, she's gone off the deep end a bit.
Yeah.
Which is why I thought she was gonna kill
what's
him.
Killmonger doing in the ancestral
That's
plane?
what I'm saying. I was like,
I mean-
Yeah, how did he
Queen,
get there?
Maybe her
Hold
father,
on,
but
hold on.
Killmonger?
But I guess they're forgiving. They
Well,
can
like, he's
forgive
still
their father.
Wakandan. That's
Yeah,
the thing. He's
that
still
too.
Wakandan.
He's still, but you would think that they would
Wakandan?
have like different levels, like some people.
Different levels.
You
Be like,
know,
okay,
like,
you were
you-
Wakanda
I
and
mean,
good.
if you really think about it, when when T'Challa saw his father, there were like the elders were in the back. Some,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
were in the back. But Killmonger, he was alone.
He's
He was
alone.
in the throne room.
He was in
Yeah.
the throne
Wait,
room.
could it have something to do with the fact that like when T'Challa was there, he also saw like the other Black Panthers. The herb Shuri took is technically synthetic.
That's synthetic.
It's
So the
synthetic.
last one that he can see probably
Yeah.
is Killmonger.
We're
which
coming
I
up
guess
with
is
theories.
Ben.
because
Maybe
because
it's a
he was
theory.
the last like
Black Panther.
yeah.
Well, no, because Chadwick was there. T'Challa's character was alive.
Yeah,
before
and then he
Killmonger.
took it after.
Yeah.
And
he
then
took
he
it after
destroyed it.
Killmonger.
He had one more. They had
They had one more,
herb,
and then they
so-
gave it to him.
So I don't know if that's, but I'm guessing like
I mean,
remember-
well, obviously
I
there's
think I
still the fact
also-
that Chadwick is
T'Challa.
not in the movie.
That's also a thing. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I love how we're introducing Chadwick and T'Challa. We're
Yeah.
mostly meaning T'Challa.
Yeah.
T'Challa.
But I think also like I said before, I think the person she was relating to the most was Killmonger, and he brought a great point. I think he wasn't there to like antagonize Shuri. I think he was there to show her like, you are turning into me, and this might not be what's best for you.
It was helpful advice.
It was helpful, right? He was like, are you
Surprisingly.
gonna get things done like me or be noble like
T'Challa.
T'Challa? And I don't think that was necessarily
Yeah.
like he's being like your brother was bad, but he
No.
did
Yeah.
things the right way. I did things no matter what I had
Yeah.
to sacrifice at the end of the day, and I sacrificed things that didn't.
It's
need to be
also
sacrificed.
the fact that he acknowledged it too, which makes me love Killmonger even more. It's the fact that he
He knows
realized
he's
he
a
was
flawed
like
character.
he knows
He knows he's a flawed character,
I think
and he
it-
owns it.
I think at one point in like the first movie, he was like, "Yeah, no, I know I have my flaws, but like here's the thing. Here's the
I
thing.
at least I can
here's
admit
the
it.
deal."
You guys can't.
Yeah. He was like, "I can admit where I'm wrong. You guys cannot."
No, and
Yeah.
Her father played dirty. He killed his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
No, and I think Namor's is that same way. He knows what he's doing is kind of effed up, but he's like, I'm-
he
Anything to protect my people.
He's like, I'm the type of person who will do and sacrifice anything.
He
But
doesn't wanna
Shuri,
kill,
I
really.
think Shuri believes that she's like, you don't need to go to the end to protect your people.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
will save you and we will do what we need to.
Yeah.
But you have to know where to draw the line.
Yeah.
And where to. And being a leader means making those tough calls, knowing when to bow out, knowing when to fight, knowing when to give mercy, and knowing when to not show mercy. And I think these were the lessons that she learned. And
Definitely.
you know what? Like I said, this movie, I think we can talk about it possibly being better than the first. I know that's crazy to say because T'Challa is not in it in the way we want it to be. And the first one has T'Challa, Black Panther. But I have to say, plot-wise, gosh, this plot is so amazing. And it's because of Chadwick's legacy and T'Challa's character that we're able to have such a beautiful plot. So
That's
he's
true.
part of the reason why this movie is so good. And I definitely think they made him proud. Like, I know for a fact they made Chadwick proud.
Yeah.
100%.
It's such a
And
beautiful
it's
movie.
also the fact that like I know we haven't gotten to the end of the movie, but like towards the end of the movie they do give Chadwick a montage, like with not just the intro, like the whole Marvel like studio sequence, but they also the flashback. They also he is in the movie because I feel like they did that not only to be like, oh, here's Shuri, finally hitting like the acceptance stage of the grieving process. It was also to be
Their
like
final goodbye.
it was a final goodbye, like. He is our Black Panther. Like, obviously, I know Shuri's a Black Panther now, but like T'Challa,
He will be
Yeah.
It's not like a final goodbye for like only like the film, but like for us, the audience
think
too.
as
It was
fans.
it was another
Yeah.
moment of silence too. Like
yeah.
And I think that ending scene of Shuri on the beach, where she
that was such a beautiful
finally
shot.
accepting, it was so beautiful. And I think
Such a beautiful
it's
shot.
such an emotional thing because sometimes it doesn't hit you that they're finally gone. You don't want it. When you finally get to that stage, you have to then admit that the person's gone, and she's finally admitted. Like, she's known he's gone, but now she's finally accepted it, and it makes it even more real and raw. And I feel like in that moment, like we said again, Letitia Wright wasn't acting. It was all from the heart.
That was 100%. Here's the thing: if someone were to tell me it was Letitia, that's how you say her name.
Letitia?
Yeah. If it was her on the beach with a camera and a tripod, I would believe you. Just her, just like letting everything go. Obviously, there was a whole set there and everything, because you know that's how they make movies. You have a whole crew. But like, if it was just her releasing everything, like I would believe you. I'd fall and be like, no, you're right.
No, and
you're right.
Lupita Nyong'o's character, we finally get to know in the end credit scene. Now, there wasn't like a post-credit scene. It was a mid-credit scene.
Yeah.
It was a mid-credit
And
scene.
we learn that the reason, because, okay, it wasn't me when Lupita Nyong'o's character was like, I couldn't be at the funeral, and her reasoning why she couldn't, I was like, be freaking ass. Be fucking for real. You can't be at the love of your life's funeral because it hurts too much. There's got to be another reason. And so when they finally did reveal that the reason was,
and like
because
Ramona was also telling Shuri, like, your brother didn't tell you something, so it was like
it was
foreshadowed.
Like, foreshadowed throughout the movie. Like, there's something you need to know. So when it's finally revealed that Lupita Nyong'o's character, what is it? Nakia, that was it. I can't remember. I couldn't remember her name. Nakia had T'Challa's son, and that T'Challa has a son, and that he is going to be taking over after Shuri as Black Panther, and the king, and his name is
King T'Challa.
Well,
Can we
Prince
also talk
Prince
about?
name.
Can we talk about how his name is Toussaint? Because Toussaint, you probably don't know this.
Oh wait,
Nini's
yeah.
Haitian. Nini's
I'm Haitian.
Wait, what? Say his name?
Toussaint.
Toussaint. Okay.
Toussaint. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know this, Toussaint was like, he was a revolutionary hero in Haiti. He led like the revolution, like from the French.
The Haitian Revolution.
Yes, that's Toussaint. So like, it was a really strong name. Like I talked to my mom. I was like, Mom, do you know why he's named? He's like, yeah, I know him.
Exactly.
And then my mom was like so proud, like the whole time, like seeing like the scenes in Haiti. I know they probably like they weren't filmed in Haiti. I think they were filmed in Puerto Rico. But like just the thought, like we were acknowledged. My mom was like so happy. And like during the scenes that were in Haiti and they were speaking Creole, my mom literally brought out her phone. She brought out her phone and she was like literally recording this scene. She was like, do you see this?
And the funny thing is, I think the reason why they chose Haiti, because Haiti is literally like the intersection of indigenous people of Latin America.
It's Latin America and then
literally, it's Haitians are considered Latino. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we are Latinos.
Exactly, and they're also African. They have African heritage, so it's literally the intersection. So that's why I think they chose Haiti. Like that was another symbolism.
Haiti suffered a lot because
of colonization,
and it's like till this day is like still really bad.
Yeah, and they don't talk about it, and so I think it's very much impactful because it's literally like Haiti is like the representation of Wakanda and Talokan.
Yeah, like we really like this. The country really suffered.
Exactly, and it's a representation of what could have happened if these people found out about these countries, and literally, but it shows that the tenacity of the tenacity of the Haitian people is in the tenacity of the Wakandans and the Talokan people. Because look, they were both not gonna stop fighting. They were like the Wakandans when they were put in the corner, were like, maybe we'll die, but we'll take a couple of y'all.
Yeah.
They stand down, and that is the tenacity.
They're very loyal.
These countries. But going into T'Challa's name, I don't think people understand that they're not just naming him T'Challa to name him T'Challa. In African culture, in Ghanaian culture, we name our children after our mothers and fathers and grandfathers and the people who impacted us the most.
Okay.
I am named after both my grandma on my mom's side and my dad's side. I'm Efia Asantua. That's my African name. That my grandma calls me mom because I'm named after her mom. Literally. Like that is, so when you name these people, it's also because they have literally left a legacy in their life. So T'Challa wasn't just, it
wasn't just oh my gosh, if we name them T'Challa, they're gonna cry.
Yeah, it's also like a culture in Africa to
very
name
powerful.
Your children after your legacy, after your grandkids, after your grandpas, grandmas, mothers, and everybody who has impacted you. So, like I said, Ryan C did his thing. He legit infused all of African culture in this beautiful film, and it's a masterpiece. And it's honestly in the top. I'm not an MCU fan like that. I can admit that. You can tell. I have been asking you two all day, like, it's Yelena, right? It's Black Widow, right? Like, I'm not an MCU fan at the slightest. But Black Panther was something I knew I had to see. My whole family and I watched it. The first one, I went with you guys to watch it.
And I watched it with my family too.
After doing this, I feel the need to go see it again. So those will be my plans for Saturday night.
And I think that this movie, hands down, has the best cinematography. And
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Before then, the other movie that I was like had the best cinematography. Maybe people don't like it plot wise, but cinematography wise, Eternals. Because Chloe Zhao, she's an amazing director, and people don't understand that cinematography in Eternals is amazing.
Yeah,
It was.
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is probably the only movie I would put hand in hand with that cinematography. It was out of this
It was
world.
beautiful.
It's what killed it was when he showed the sun that he brought to his people.
Oh, that was. Oh my gosh, that was so beautiful.
And then the scene of Lupita Nyong'o's character is it Nakia.
Nakia.
I
Nakia.
keep forgetting.
I messed it up
literally,
too.
my mind is racing 1,000 miles per minute.
Yeah.
When she's on the beach and you see the Mayan pyramids at the side, like that.
Oh
whole scene,
yeah. Oh definitely.
gorgeous.
Yes.
And every scene, the scene of him, of the mom giving birth to Namor, like
Oh, I also love the scene when, what's her name again?
Nakia.
I'm so sorry.
God, they're gonna be like, y'all are fake fans.
I'm
Y'all don't know
so
these people's
sorry.
names.
I don't remember names. When she dived into the water, like to go to, that was so beautiful.
Everything in this film was beautiful, and so yeah, you need to go see this film if you not have it. Is this movie ChickFlicks approved? What do you think?
100%. 165%.
Oh my!
I got a
10 out of 10. It was past. It was 100 out of 10.
It's
A million out of
approved.
10.
It's ChickFlicks approved.
It's
What do you think?
everything
Seal of approval.
approved.
It's everything approved. I don't think I'm gonna meet one person who's going to see the movie. No, because one person in our film class earlier today was like, it was
It's
long.
too long. We all looked at
The
him like
movie is 2 hours and 41 minutes. Endgame, 3 hours and 2 minutes.
they felt like a microaggression when he said that.
Duh.
It was too long.
Oh, but
But we can
Avengers,
sit through
Avengers,
Titanic. We can
sit
sit through
through
Avatar.
We
All
can
of these
sit- we
long
can sit
movies.
I feel like this
Avengers
movie.
Endgame, 3
Exactly.
hours and 2
I feel like
minutes.
this
I felt
movie
that
could not
comment
be
to be
short. Like
very
you could
suspect.
not get the whole
Exactly.
thing with it being short.
Sure.
Like there's too much that
If
was
we sat
happening.
here the whole time and dived into every single detail, we'd be here for hours.
Yes.
I have just summarized it up for us so that we can stay on.
There
a
was
time
so
limit.
much that was happening. There was like a
There's
million different
so
plot
many
lines.
things like that. There's so many details
Yes.
too. Like everything.
And I'm glad.
in it. Like, oh god.
It hit harder that way, you
And
know?
we had to put like, you know how most main characters in Marvel, they have like a trilogy, like for 3 movies. I feel like for sure we had to combine a lot of elements into one.
Yes.
The fact that Chadwick is gone, so it's like, you know, she's taking on this, you know, perception. So it's like we had to cram a lot of stuff in this movie.
And I also like the addition of the claws. Like the claws.
Oh yeah, she went.
Choo! I was like, yeah, kitty cat.
That was
You
so
know,
cool. Bro, the
literally.
scene when we first see her fighting like on the ship,
You can tell it's a different Black Panther because it's more agile. It's more.
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and it's her own.
Like
Black
her
Panther.
spitting,
right?
like her doing like it was amazing.
And I feel like with her, she has a balance between like tech and fighting. You know, she's
Oh,
not a
yes.
fighter. She's more of a tech girl. She's
smart.
smart.
That's the
So
thing.
the fact that she was kind of able to hold her own a little bit with a weaker version
Okay,
of
which-
Namor,
which-
and she was like, okay, well, he's a fish, so we have to dry him out. So she
Yes.
was kind of using more
Yeah,
of her brains to defeat him.
A lot of people online were saying, "Oh, the fight wasn't fair." I'm like, "What do you mean it's not fair? Like she's freaking
Baby,
smart. Why would
he's
she
a
not
god.
use it?"
Exactly.
Baby,
Like,
he's a god.
He's a god. She just literally what she did was she literally took a god and like made him like
immortal.
yes.
Basically,
Yeah.
she
So
took away his power.
she made the fight fair.
And then that's
Because
what you do. What did y'all want her to do?
Here's
Go
the
into
thing.
a battle, a gun battle with a knife?
Yes.
Here's the thing. Tamor might be a god, but Shuri's smart as hell.
She's smart.
She's
She
smart
might
as
be a
hell.
god, but she's
Here's-
Einstein.
Yep.
Here's the thing.
You know, strength can only get you so
So
far.
far, right.
Smarts is really what's
Here's the
gonna
thing. You
top it off.
can have the strength to throw a punch, but if you don't know how to throw a punch, then you're a goner.
Exactly.
We got her that one good time right here. I was like, oh.
Bro,
I thought she was gonna
stabbed her, and
die.
I was about to be like, we're about to lose her too.
the whole Black Panther lineage is just gone.
Wait, I just realized we barely talked about Okoye.
Oh, in her story,
Right.
yes.
We barely
let's get
talked
into
about
it.
her.
Gets demoted and everything.
Yeah, I feel like Ramonda was just in her feels. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah,
But
I
her
guess.
monologue though.
But
like,
she
Angela
lost.
Bassett
She lost a lot. I feel
She
like
lost a lot, but she has to understand. I feel like she was taking it out on her too.
She was
because
definitely-
She was just because she fought to her very end to protect her. She
did.
fought
She
to
held her
her
own.
very end, and she held her own against those generals. She was like, "Y'all lucky that I'm hurt right now, because I would have whooped your ass."
Yeah.
But she was literally doing whatever she could, and I feel like it was honestly like
it was.
Ramonda
it
was
was like
so in
3
her
versus
feels.
1. It was 3
it was
versus
another
1.
fair
Okoye will forever be one of my favorite characters in
Oh,
the
yeah.
MCU.
And yeah, she's one of the
100%.
strongest.
And then you should like you need to realize like the people of I don't know how to pronounce.
Wakanda.
No.
Dora.
Talokan.
Yeah, them.
Talokan.
Telecon. They're very, very strong because they all. It's like okay, in Wakanda, only the Black Panther has taken the herb, and
Talokan.
yes, all of them have taken it.
The
They're
herb.
all
So they're
abnormally
all-
strong.
They're all at Black Panther strength.
Yes.
And Namor is at 10 times Black Panther's
Yes.
strength. So you don't understand. They were going up against basically gods.
Yes.
And they were holding their own.
They were.
They were holding their own. And I feel like when they demoted her, like everything she has given up, and she's like, oh, you've given up everything, but your husband is now hidden away, and you still get to see him and have your. She's
And
like,
you
my
can see
husband's
she
gone.
still has not forgiven her for like turning like her back on
Back,
her
but
during
her-
Killmonger.
And I think she has to remember that Okoye's duty is to the throne.
It's to
not
follow the throne.
To people.
Yes.
And she has taken that seriously.
And that's a really
And that it takes a strong person
Yes.
to dedicate yourself to a throne. Despite who sits upon there, you will defend it. And in the end, she does. She's like, if I can rightfully claim who is my rightful leader, it's always going to be T'Challa.
Yeah.
But I took an honor code to defend this throne and who sits upon it. And I cannot be biased because I love you. So I love Okoye, and I love her, and I love how she become more accepting because she's kind of like a traditional person. She does stuff the traditional way.
Yeah.
She uses the spear. She doesn't want to experiment
Yeah.
with any of
this new
Shuri's
tech
new
stuff.
tech. But as she goes along, she realized like I can continue my traditional ways, but still modify it and use it to help.
Yes.
You know, help me and help further protect Wakanda. So I think.
and she was really funny this movie.
Oh yeah,
she was
she
hilarious.
was like, you said Fenty word. She's like,
And
yeah.
when Mimi said her head was ashy, I died. I
Oh my
should have
God.
died.
When
Or
Mbaku was like, you bald-headed
and a demon. And the last line where it's like a colonizer in chains. I've seen it all. She was hilarious.
A colonizer in chains.
That was hilarious.
No. Black Panther's gonna start making black people call their friends colonizer. Hey, colonizer? What up, colonizer?
I do that sometimes already.
No. But no, literally, like I said, we can talk about every character in this film. They all have a great arc. Even Namor's commanders in second, his generals. They even have a storyline too. They're coming to him like, we are defending you. Like, why didn't you decide? And he was like, we have possibly the second strongest kingdom defending us, protecting us. We will be fine. We will be good.
I feel like we can definitely
Get like a movie based off of him.
Yeah.
And I feel like his the right and left hand man and girl, Atuma, and the other person, like how they kind of don't really trust him as much because what he did, they were like, you're really gonna like ally with them after all of this. So I kind of feel like it interrupted their relationship a little bit.
So you
that's
think they
something we
might
could
do a
see.
movie? Mm-hmm.
Or
They could get a cute little spin-off.
yeah, you know.
Disney Plus, here they come.
All right,
I
'cause
think-
everything is a Disney.
I
Plus
think
show.
they could fit. Yeah.
I wouldn't want them to become a Disney Plus show because they don't really put much of their budget into that. Like it's really
Is that a take at She-Hulk?
And She-Hulk.
yes.
Damn.
I still haven't seen it.
I still
But
haven't
hey,
seen
hey,
that.
hey.
You're not.
Falcon and Winter Soldier will forever be my favorite.
Yeah, they didn't use much CGI in that, so like.
But guys, I think that's pretty much it for us. All we can say is if you have not seen Black Panther,
Go see it.
Wakanda Forever, you
We
need to
had
see
this
it.
much to talk about
This
it.
is literally what we have to talk about. But it is time for me now to do my outro. So, if you want to keep up with the ChickFlicks show, we will be back hopefully in our regularly scheduled space. But this was a nice change and this was a longer video. So thank you for staying tuned till the end. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you give us a follow at either Simply Alexis, my channel, or FAU Owl TV's channels. And then if you would like to follow us on Instagram, you can follow us at FAU Owl TV, as my show is an official show for them. And you can also follow FAU Owl Radio because I'm an official podcast for them too. If you want to follow me at Alexis Otang, my public profile, it is no longer Simply Alexis. And you can also follow me at the ChickFlicks Show for updates on episodes. And that is it from me, your host. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. And this is Alexis signing off with ChickFlicks. See y'all later.